What if I told you the difference between a 400 credit score and an 800 credit score is not just a number? It can be the difference between living paycheck to paycheck and peeping an extra 6 figures over your lifetime. Right now in the US, credit card interest rates are hovering around 21%, and the average 30-year mortgage rate is about 6.37%. In a high-rate economy, bad credit doesn't just hurt, it gets taxed. One weak score can make your car loan, your apartment, your insurance, even your future house will be more expensive. And here's the hidden truth. Going from 400 to 800 is not about one magic hack. It's about understanding how lenders price risk and then rebuilding your financial reputation step by step. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do first, what to ignore, and what actually moves the score. A lot of people think a bad credit score means you're irresponsible. That's not true. Sometimes it means you got sick. Sometimes you lost a job. Sometimes inflation squeezed your budget and one missed payment turned into 2, then 3, then a collection account, then panic. But the system doesn't care about your backstory. It cares about signals. In 2025, the average U.S. credit score slipped to 713, the first annual decline since 2013. At the same time, household debt climbed to about $18.8 trillion. Credit card balances jumped by $44 billion in Q4 2025, and 4.8% of outstanding debt was in some stage of delinquency. That tells you something important. Millions of Americans are under pressure, and when pressure rises, credit mistakes multiply. Now let me agitate the pain. A 400 score doesn't just mean higher rates. It can mean security deposits, denied rental applications, worse financing terms, fewer approvals, and constant financial friction. You pay more to borrow, more to move, more to recover. And in an economy where the cost of debt is already high, that gap becomes brutal. Here's the part almost nobody explains properly. A credit score is not a judgment of your worth. It is a risk pricing tool. And once you understand that, everything changes.
If you want to go from 400 to 800, stop asking, how do I trick the system? Start asking, what signals does the system reward? FICO tells you almost everything you need to know. The score is driven by 5 core categories. Payment history is 35%, amounts owed/utilization is 30%, length of credit history is 15%, new credit is 10%, credit mix is 10%. That means the road from 400 to 800 is not mysterious, it's a sequence. Stop the bleeding, clean the report, lower utilization, build a positive history, protect age, avoid stupid inquiries, wait. That's it. Simple to say, hard to do, but completely doable. And I'm going to show you the order that matters, because if you do the right things in the wrong order, you waste months.
Step 1 is not opening a new card. It's not paying some credit guru. It's not buying a template letter pack on Instagram. Step 1 is this: pull your reports from all 3 bureaus. Why? Because mortgage lenders often look at all 3 major bureaus and use the middle score, not the one your free app shows you. If your Experian looks decent, but your TransUnion is ugly, the ugly one still matters. When you pull your reports, build what I call a damage map. List every negative item under 4 buckets: late payments, collections or charge-offs, high balances, hard inquiries or new accounts. Do not guess. Do not work from memory. Work from the file. Because the person with a 400 score usually doesn't have one problem, they have stacked problems. And until you see the stack, you can't fix the stack. This is where people leave money on the table. If there's inaccurate information on your credit report, that fake negative data can raise your rate and lower your approvals. The CFPB is clear. If you find an error, dispute it with the credit reporting company and provide documentation supporting your claim. So, what counts as an error? Wrong late payment, wrong balance, duplicate collection, an account that isn't yours, a debt that should have aged off, personal information mixed with someone else's file. Those are not small issues. Those are score killers. And this matters because most negative information can stay on your report for up to 7 years, while some bankruptcies can stay for up to 10. So if something is wrong and you don't challenge it, you can literally pay for that mistake for years. But first, you have to stop doing the thing that makes every repair attempt fail. If payment history is 35% of the score, then this is the non-negotiable rule. From this day forward, no more missed payments. Not because it sounds responsible, because mathematically it is the highest weighted category in the model, MyFICO. A lot of people obsess over utilization and inquiries while they're still paying late. That's like trying to mop the floor while the sink is still overflowing. Set autopay for at least the minimum, then set a second reminder to pay more if you can. The goal is not elegance, the goal is survival first, optimization second. And understand something psychologically. An improving credit score is not built on big dramatic gestures. It's built on boring consistency. The people who reach 800 usually aren't financial geniuses. They are people who became predictable. Lenders love predictable. Here's where things get exciting. If you have revolving balances, especially credit cards, your score may be getting crushed by utilization. Amounts owed make up 30% of a FICO score, and heavy use of available credit can signal elevated risk. Let me make this real. If you have a card with a $1,000 limit and a $900 balance, you're at 90% utilization. That screams distress. If you pay that down to $300, now you're at 30%. If you pay it down to $100, now you're at 10%. If you could report 1% to 3% on one card and keep the rest near zero, that's usually much better than maxing everything out. This is why some people see a score move in one statement cycle. Not because they discovered a secret, because they changed the ratio the model sees. And this matters even more in today's economy. With credit card rates near 21%, carrying big revolving balances is a double punishment. It hurts your score and drains your cash flow. A $5,000 balance at roughly 21% APR can cost around $1,000 a year in interest alone before you make real progress on principal. Do not close old credit cards just because you paid them off. That can reduce available credit and shorten your effective history over time, exactly what you don't want when rebuilding. Now we get to the messy part. If your score is around 400, there's a decent chance you're not just dealing with high balances. You may be dealing with collections, charge-offs, or old delinquencies. First, know the clock. Most negative information generally remains on reports for 7 years, though bankruptcies can last up to 10 years. Collection accounts also generally remain for about 7 years from the original delinquency date. Second, don't throw money blindly at old debt without understanding what you're paying, who owns it, and how it will report afterward. Your order of operations should be: verify the debt is accurate, prioritize accounts that are still actively hurting cash flow or blocking approvals, get current on open accounts first when possible, then deal with collections strategically. This is the part where emotion destroys progress. Shame makes people avoid the mailbox. Fear makes them ignore calls. Panic makes them pay random accounts without a plan. But the 800 score mindset is different. It says, I'm not reacting emotionally, I am reorganizing risk. That shift is everything. Removing negatives helps, but eventually you need fresh positives. Why? Because lenders aren't only asking what went wrong, they're asking, what are you doing now? This is where secured cards, credit builder loans, and carefully managed revolving accounts can help. The point is not to collect accounts. The point is to create clean, current, on-time history month after month. And here's where people sabotage themselves. They open too many new accounts too fast. But new credit is 10% of the score, and opening several accounts in a short period can signal greater risk, especially if your file is already thin or damaged. So, be surgical. 1 or 2 well-managed accounts are infinitely more powerful than 6 impulsive approvals. Think like an underwriter, not a shopper. This is the part nobody wants to hear. You can lower utilization quickly. You can correct errors relatively quickly. You can stop late payments immediately. But you cannot manufacture a 10-year history in 10 weeks. Length of credit history is 15% of the score. And according to Experian, people with 800+ scores tend to be older, and 55.5% of consumers with exceptional scores are over age 60. That doesn't mean young people are doomed. It means age of accounts matters, and time is part of the formula. This is why 400 to 650 can happen much faster than 650 to 800. The first jump comes from stopping obvious damage. The second jump comes from proving stability. The final jump comes from patience. That last part separates the desperate from the wealthy, because wealth is often just patience with good systems. Let me give you two people. David has a 430 score. He keeps chasing shortcuts. He applies for random cards. He ignores statement dates. He pays late when cash gets tight. He thinks credit is a scam, so he never learns the rules. John starts at 432, but John changes one thing. He stops taking his score personally. He pulls all 3 reports. He disputes the errors. He sets autopay. He attacks utilization. He opens 1 rebuilding account, not 5. He lets old accounts age. He rates shops intelligently within the same window when he needs a loan, because multiple inquiries for the same loan type in a short period are generally treated as one. 12 months later, David is still asking, why do they keep denying me? John is asking, should I wait 3 more months before applying so I get a better rate? Same starting point, different mindset, different future. That is the real credit story in America. Not math versus math, emotion versus discipline. Here is the truth that changes everything. An 800 credit score is not built by borrowing more. It is built by proving you don't need to borrow recklessly. That's the irony. The people who get the cheapest money are usually the people who look least desperate for it. In a country where the average score is 713 and only about 23% of consumers have 800 or higher, exceptional credit is not normal. It is a sign of long-term control, low utilization, almost no delinquency, deliberate applications, and years of consistency. And when rates are high, that control is worth real money. On a $300,000 mortgage, even a rate difference of around 1.5 percentage points can mean roughly $300 more per month and more than $100,000 in additional interest over 30 years. In other words, your credit score is not just a score. It is a price tag on your future. So if you're sitting at 400, 500, or 600, hear me clearly. You do not need a miracle, you need a sequence. Pull the reports, fix the errors, never miss a payment, crush utilization, add positive history, protect time, stop chasing hacks. If you understand this, you are already ahead of most people because most people are still trying to change the number without changing the behavior that creates the number. And that's the game. Not just getting approved, getting free. Thanks for watching. If this helped you clear through the noise, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.